Chapter 22. The Song Beneath the Ashes. The fire burns low and steady, its glow settling over the camp in quiet waves of gold and ember. The men have finished eating. Armor rests beside bedrolls. Laughter lingers in softer forms now, low, tired, real. For once, no one is rushing toward anything. Rose sits near the edge of the firelight, knees tucked beneath her, fingers loosely folded in her lap. The warmth reaches her skin, but it's the stillness that holds her. It feels safe. Alaric leans back on his hands, watching the flames with an easy grin that hasn't quite faded since dinner. "We fought, we've bled," he says lightly, glancing around at the others. "And somehow survived your cooking." A few men chuckle. "That earns us something," he continues. "I say we demand a song." There's a murmur of agreement. Someone taps a mug against a boot. Another whistles low. "Aye, song." One of the younger knights calls. Rose blinks, caught off guard. She hesitates, a small breath of laughter escaping her. "You wouldn't like my songs? They're old, simple." Alaric turns his head toward her, grin widening. "Perfect," he says. "Then just Rose, give us something to chase the dark off." That earns another ripple of quiet laughter. Rose's smile lingers, but it softens as her gaze drifts toward the fire. "It's a lullaby," she admits after a moment. "I used to sing it for the children. When the nights were bad." The words settle gently, but something beneath them carries weight. For a heartbeat, her expression shifts. Faint, almost gone, small hands clutching at her sleeves. Tear-streaked faces, cold stone walls that never held warmth long enough. She blinks once, steadying herself. Then a softer smile returns. "One boy used to insist I sounded like a frog," she adds, almost playfully. Alaric snorts. He must have been deaf. "Or jealous," another knight offers. Across the fire, Kale's voice cuts in, smooth, measured. "Or honest." A few of the men laugh, but his gaze doesn't leave her. "Let's hear it," he adds, not mocking. "Testing." Rose looks between them, Alaric's easy warmth. The quiet attention of the others. Darius seated just beyond the firelight, still and listening without appearing to. Then she exhales. "All right," she says softly. "But you asked for it." The camp settles. Even the horses grow still. The fire shifts, a single ember breaking and settling deeper into the coals. Rose closes her eyes. For a moment, she does nothing. Then, she listens. The ground beneath her hums, steady and familiar. The breath of the men around her slows. The night air carries the faint scent of pine and ash. When her voice comes, it is quiet. Almost fragile, but it carries. The world was quiet once, I think. Before we learned to run, before the dark could find our names, before we feared the sun, the sound drifts across the camp like smoke, thin at first. Then settling into something warmer. No one moves. Darius feels it before he understands it. The weight of his armor presses into his shoulders, heavier than it has any right to be. His hands, resting against his knees, feel older than he remembers them. For a fleeting moment, he wonders what they were before they held a sword. There were hands that held us close, and voices soft and low. They told us we were safe to stay. Before we had to go, Alaric's grin fades. Not all at once, just enough. Something in his chest shifts, a memory brushing the surface. Laughter that didn't need to be loud, a home that didn't feel temporary. He exhales slowly, eyes fixed on the fire. "So close your eyes, don't be afraid. The night is not your end. There's still a light that doesn't fade. In hearts that choose to mend." The younger knights lower their heads. One drags a hand across his face, muttering something about smoke. No one calls him on it. The forest itself seems to lean inward, the wind softening as if not to disturb the sound. If you forget what kindness feels, or how the silence sings, just listen close beneath your feet. The earth remembers things. The fire flickers, not wildly, just enough to catch the rhythm of her voice. A faint warmth spreads through the ground, subtle, almost unnoticed. The kind of thing that could be dismissed, if it didn't feel so deliberate. Darius lifts his gaze, not to the fire, to her. Let them in before they leave. Let the moment stay. You don't have to fight the world, just don't turn away. Kale's hand tightens slightly where it rests against his knee. His expression does not change, but something in his gaze sharpens, then falters. The song doesn't press against him. It slips past, through the cracks he's spent years building. For the first time in longer than he can remember, he feels something he cannot name, and he hates it. The world is still a softer place, if you remember how, to see it like you did before, to feel it. Even now, her voice softens further. Not fading, settling. The final note lingers in the air, trembling just enough to feel alive before it disappears. And when it does, the silence that follows is not empty. It is full. No one speaks, not immediately. The fire answers first, cracking softly as a log shifts. Darius exhales, slow and controlled, though his voice comes rough when he finally speaks. You could calm a war with that voice. Rose opens her eyes, blinking once as if returning from somewhere far away. A small laugh escapes her. I only ever tried to calm hungry children. Alaric drags a hand across his face, clearing his throat. I think you broke the captain, he mutters. Rose smiles faintly. Good, she says. Maybe he'll smile more. A quiet chuckle passes through the group, gentler now, as if the moment hasn't quite released them yet. Across the fire, Kale's voice cuts through the quiet. Soft, measured. You shouldn't sing songs like that on battlefields. A few of the men glance toward him. His gaze remains on her. Men start to believe in peace again, he continues. And that's dangerous. Rose meets his eyes. There is no challenge in her expression, no fear, only something steady. Then maybe it's time someone reminded them what peace sounds like. Kale does not answer, but he does not look away. The fire burns lower. One by one, the men settle into their bedrolls, the quiet returning in softer waves. But something has changed, not loudly, not in a way that can be named, only felt. And long after the song has ended, its echo remains in the stillness, in the breath between words, in the hearts of men who no longer remember what they were fighting for. Only that for a moment. They did not want to fight at all.